I just brought a shofar with me just in case anyone is planning to blow and they want to, on what we spoke about last night. What do you mean? I have already 9 places people are going to. Who signed up with you? Okay, I put him down already. Taken care of. Oh, Dov, I don't know. Fine, so if I get another phone call, it's good to know that I have another. Baruch Hashem. It's an amazing thing. I just finished making a list. 10 places that they're blowing shofar, yeah? Think about this. We probably have in the Chabad houses from the smallest operations that there is. We're not, right? Think about 5,000 shluchim around the world. Just think about the idea, like you have that picture of Allstate Insurance, the hands. A Yid knows my Bubby lives on East 22nd and this. Could someone go visit her and blow shofar? No problem. What's your address? Here, what's your contact? What's your number? What time? V'chulu. Unbelievable. The whole globe. We, Baruch Hashem, have the schus to cover, this section. And we don't, not advertising. Just a person knows this. Carol Batsheva knows about it? Is it possible for someone to, if Tema, I called Tema, she said she doesn't know she's going to be there for Rosh Hashanah. I called the son, he's not answering me. Tema Hirschkowitz. She's not coming, obviously she's not coming here. No. No, that's Carol. I'm talking about Tema Hirschkowitz. Yeah, she's still living. She's still in the building. So maybe someone could bring her down to hear the shofar. They just have to tell the shiksa to bring her. Yeah, she doesn't matter. First of all, she knows shofar very good. You should know. She still remembers her father. She still remembers, you know what I mean. Some things she remembers still. Yeah. Nah, but usually the people that are calling is a bubby that's 96 years old. You know what I mean? That's the people that are calling. Or a home of Owell and a home from Ahask and a. Right, sure. כן. כן.
המוח לא צריך לעבוד, זה נוגע במקומות אחרים.
כן, ממש.
זה לא משנה, אתה שומע תקיעת שופר, זה משהו אחר.
כן. Okay. What? Okay, fine. So anyway, so. No, he has a. Oh, so. Oh, beside the practice. No, you have to practice before. The truth is, this year you have a mile over every year. A lot of years, if you're Baltikeh, it's already Erev Yom Tov. I want to practice a little more, but the minig is not to blow. Today, Erev Shabbos, the minig is not to blow Erev Shabbos, Mishum Loi Plug. It's not the same thing. Loi Plug, because usually we don't blow Erev Rosh Hashanah because we want to confuse the Satan. He's confused anyway. But so one day we want to not blow. But even this year we're not blowing the first day of Rosh Hashanah. But the minig is that also Friday that we don't blow, but it's not the same strength. So even if you didn't get a chance, so Friday you could practice too. Right. Right. Okay, let's go. Daf Yud Zayin Amud Beis. Mitzvah Shem to finish the Pedic as we finish the year, and hopefully next winter Mitzvah Shem will do the next 2 prokim. Next 3 prokim maybe. Okay, it's
It's 6 lines or 7 lines from the top. The first word is Shemagdiach Tafshilu Berabim. 7 lines from the top. Shemagdiach Tafshilu Berabim. It says, Shimor Lai Abide Leiv Harachoikim Etzdaka. It's a funny, what's a pasuk? A funny pasuk. Shimor Lai Abide Leiv Harachoikim Etzdaka. Listen to me, Abide Leiv. What's a Abide Leiv? So it's like, what today in Hebrew, what's in today's Hebrew? What would be an Abir Lev? Huh? Today's Hebrew. Is this your thing? There's no. Right. As we'll learn now in the Gemara. As we're going to learn now in the Gemara. Yesh Yomim, it's very positive, and Yesh Yomim negative. Huh? Is Ish Chesed? Saying which context? Right. And negative. Right. So here, the Gemara has a machlokes in this pasuk. What does it mean? Abide leiv arachoikim atzdaka. Rav Shmuel, Amar Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Elazar, Chad Amar, Kol Olam Kulan Nizanim Atzdaka. Behein Nizanim Bezroya. The whole world, they get tzedakah from Hashem. The Eibishter doesn't owe them anything, and the Eibishter gives it to them b'torat tzedakah. But Veheim Nizanim Bezroya, because they're tzaddikim, the Eibishter owes it to them. Sekumtze. So they're not getting their mezonos b'torat tzedakah. They're getting a b'torat. They're owed. Sekumtze. They're getting a bezroya. Kadamar, the other opinion says, that the whole world is their schus is the mezonos of the whole world. They're not even eating in their own schus. They're poor. The whole world has what to eat, and they themselves are poor. And that's the pshat. They're far from their own tzidkis. Because their own tzidkis would make that they should be rich. Lapel, the tzaddik is poor, and the whole world lives off it. Every single day. Baskol yotzes ma'achoyrav, there's a baskol that goes out. The baskol says, Kol olam kuloi, the entire world nizainin, they're eating b'shvil chanina b'ni, they're eating because of machanina my son. The chanina b'ni, chanina my son, dai loy, the kav charuvim ere Shabbos later Shabbos. There's some band that has a nice catchy song, and chanina b'ni. Anyway, so from Fried maybe, yeah. Okay. This is the Baal Shem Tov. This is one of the famous words in the Baal Shem Tov. Reb Chanina ben Dosa. This is Reb Chanina. Yeah. This is, and he was very poor, as we know from many stories in Chazal. First, let's start with the Baal Shem Tov's word. Then, with all the Chassidish Vetlach that spin off the. Okay, the Baal Shem Tov said, B'shvil doesn't only mean because. B'shvil comes from the word shvil, that the tzaddik in every generation makes a shvil. Through that shvil comes the hashpah to all the anshe hadoir. No, a road. That through this road, just like when you build a road, so through the road, people could bring trucks, can bring chulu stuff. So it's same thing here. The tzaddik builds a road from heaven to earth. Right. Okay. Agav, there's a beautiful Torah from the Alter Rebbe, which I spoke about maybe 2-3 years ago in Rosh Hashanah, that it says, Ano eflach vafanes isich elichi kehilchas guvrin yodon the folchen amoyken bezonnen l'nashai bekushta, that I will support my wife. That's what it says in the Ksuva. Eschayvus. Huh? Oh, yeah? Even a lake with they're rewriting the Ksuva. So, okay. Well, a person could be make a Tanai. Yes, that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. He's saying in Lakewood they're thinking about bringing this nusach about that the Tanai is that Shilsach support him. Okay. So, yeah. Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it works. Yeah. Okay. So, but the Alter befragt Chakasha. It says, "Ein Adam nizen enda b'shvil ishtoi." So, is it ano eflach? It comes from him, or is it b'shvil ishtoi? I once brought here in a Kol Yom Rishon a tshuva from the Moshe with someone asking him advice about life insurance. So he writes that that the husband, if it makes sense that he needs a higher policy, because there's the mezonos of Shalom K'tzum Alam Reish Hashanah, so don't worry that much. But her mezonos comes through him. What's if he's chas v'shalom nechsa? So therefore, he should buy for himself a higher policy, from her a lower policy. Huh? He doesn't care. This, as soon as you'll say there's the sense, the part that a little less is no. That's exactly. It's his life's mission. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No. I'm not. The truth is it's a business decision. So it's important to remember that, not to make sometimes people like to make one way or the other. It's also or it's chayiv. It's not also or it's not chayiv. It's a very nice business decision that a person should be making together with his wife. Not a chiyuv and not a nisu. It's a good business decision that a person should have together with his wife. That's why I'm laughing at Albert. He makes it sound like, after. Yeah. Now he means it with the whole heart now. He means it back. Right. But still, with the Ksuvim, the Alter Rebbe says from him. The Alter Rebbe says that there's two things. Just like the Baal Shem Tov says over here. There's the Shvil. The Ksuvim is to the man. It's sort of in his bank account. But in order for that Shvil, it could be that it stays in a heavenly bank account. It'll have Gan Eden law. But right now he needs to pay the bills and help him that he has an unbelievable over there hashpah, Chef Arav. He needs a Shvil to bring from heaven down to earth. And that's b'schus ishtay. So the Ksuvim law is to the person. It's in his, really. It comes into his bank account. Huh? Yeah, he says, I have it. I'm going to give it to you. It's his. In heaven, it comes into his bank account. It comes into his bank account. And he gives it. I will give it to you. That I'm going to give it generously. Okay. Back here to the Noam Elimelech now. It's a chock full of beautiful wordlach. Noam Elimelech says that sometimes you find that Avodas Hashem is going good. He says sometimes we find that people, they're working so hard, and other people, it's easy. They have a chayes in Avodas Hashem. He said, take it easy. He says sometimes there's a tzaddik that's mesagiv himself, and he makes in the world such a amshachas hakedusha that for others it becomes easy. So don't think that just because you see that, in the schus of this tzaddik b'shvil chanina b'ni, in that shvil others could go easy, but chanina b'ni taka has to nabach eat kav churuvim me'er Shabbos le'er Shabbos. Now comes he wanted it, but that's good. It wasn't even a sacrifice. That was, he had a nihidui law. He worked really hard. This avodah Hashem was an unbelievable avodah, and it made it easy for everyone else to have Hamshachas Kedusha. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That was the best one. There's a story about a Meir Per Mishlana and the Ruzhiner. These were like two tzaddikim that were like, the Ruzhina's way of it's opulent and very gold and bechulu and very fancy bekitzer ashirus. And the Meir Premishlana's avodah was very simple. Kav charuvim Meir Shabbos Leir Shabbos. So the story goes that the Meir Premishlana sent a message to the Ruzhina saying, Gemara Zok. He sent him the Gemara. But the Gemara Zok, you're walking around with fancy wagons and gold shoes. What's going on? So the Ruzhina sent back to the Meir Elazar. He said, no, you didn't understand the Pshat Gemara. You don't begin to understand the first Pshat Gemara. Pshat is Azoy. The Abish is complaining. He's saying, you know why? Kol Olam Kuloi, just about the eating mezainis from Erev Shabbos to Erev Shabbos, just about managed to. Because Chanina Beni is only eating half charuvin. Volt Chanina Beni would walk around with a white horse and gold shoes. Then every Yid would be an Osher. But now that he is bestapik bebuit, and the Ashmot, the generation is going through him. So that's why people just about have mezainis. But if he was walking around with gold shoes, everyone's bank account would be Amish. Right, exactly. That's what they said. Exactly. The story that didn't have sold to them, the Rebbe said the story once. So he said he heard it. So that's the pshat that the Rishida said. I like this pshat a lot. Huh? Yeah. So I mean, as we know, Kiyadua, that the Rebbe spoke about this a lot of times. The Rebbe said that Rebbe Yitch has to be an Oshir and Asalcha Berachova, which even though Lachoyra, on the other hand, we know that the Rebbe, especially early years, the Rebbe spoke about luxury, like vol carpet. Like, how could you have vol carpet? It was like, but Lachoyra, the Rebbe, wall-to-wall carpet was like, yeah, okay, but back then, I guess it was, now it's cheaper. Yeah, I'm talking the 60s, 50s. But still, the Etzem Minion, volt to volt, so big deal. No, the Rebbe. So anyway, Stam, it's like a little bit of a stira. It's Nishkan stira. Anyone that think about it, it's not a stira. The Rebbe wanted that every Yid should be an Osher Gadol. Alamai, Vudlik the Kop, not in the carpet. And it's so important that he's going to spend time to this, whatever that, but not chas v'shom that he should ever have daigis, and not that he doesn't have a wall to walk up because he can't afford it. He can afford 100 times that. Halamai, he's like the koplik nanda zach, but other there's different tzaddikim. I was reading from the Kloisenberger. So he was saying about. He said in Europe there was an expression, a person as an oizgeber. It was like a terrible thing. He's a spender. Whoa, it's like a dirty word. He's a spender. Today, if you go around in Flatbush, it's the opposite. Everyone has to show, shochem, Well, yeah, exactly. Right. But the Faket, he has a whole talk from anyway, but the Rebbe Nish gehalten. There's one story that the Rebbe once went to Menachem Oval, but the Kapishn said Rebbe. It was and we went to Menachem Oval. In the talk, they spoke about this Inyan about the Nisayon of Aniyas and Nisayon of Ashirus. And the Rebbe said that in his opinion, in this generation, every Yid has to be an Osher. Nisayon of Ashirus is better. So I'm not going to tell the story with justice. Maybe ask Moshe Righteous, he'll tell you the story as and what happened was that Kapishn said he argued, and Rebbe then said just like sort of say I'm right. So the Mishpacha said that Kachava, that what happened is one son-in-law is a Lubavitcher, this guy Reb Zalman Garari, and he became an Oisha Gadol, and the rest of the Mishpacha because they're far from Ashirim. That they're far from Ashirim. That's what the Zayda want. He wanted for, I always get poiled for his Einiklach. A lot of Avich ever wanted to poil for his Choset. Anyway, so that's the word of the Meir Premishlana. But just on that note, they say it as a joke or as a story from one of the Gedolei Yisrael. Maybe they say it about the Shalom Eshiv, that there was once an Oisha Godel, but in Nebuch he had a problem that he didn't know how to give tzedakah. So the Shalom Eshiv healed him. I'm going away. This is not the Meir Premishlana. How did he heal him? And he told the Oisha, well, you're living in a little chat. You have to live in a nice house. So he built himself a nice house. He says, I hear a supper in your house. What's supper in your house? You can't have steak every night. I don't know, what's wrong with you? Okay, so he listened. He started to learn how to spend. And he was living good life. And he started to see that Yidden are suffering. So he started to get stuck at it. They say a story about the Shalom Eshiv. Could it be it happened to 10 different Gedolei Yisrael? I mean, it makes sense, that attitude. Yeah.
They went to one village and they told him, the Balabatim said to him, this guy, but he gave only dirty coin to that guy. They said, I want 2 big rabbis from the neighbor, walk with me, we go there. They go in there, I open the door, come on in, tell him, yes, I need for finish work. So how much you need? I need 5,000 rubles. He got this coin, dirty coin, and gave it to him. So after he gets very now he appreciated it. And he told these 2 rabbis, I don't need to say one word. Don't say one word. Going out, and all of a sudden the rabbi calling them, Rabbi, come back. I mean, he said, how much money did he say? He said, $5,000. He said, you know what? At Ruben, he said, I'm going to give you 1,000 Ruben. Thank you very much. Going out. And these 2 old people said, to ask him, what happened? Second time, he's running after the rabbi, come back. How much you said? 5,000, he's another 4,000. I wanted to come to him. Took the money, so this rabbi said, right to ask how it happened. He said, I knew that everybody that took data here would leave his coin and they all report in his face. He doesn't know. When he got this coin, I knew that if I give him brachot and I bless him, his heart will open. And this is exactly what happened. And after the 1,000, he gave me the whole 5,000 money. That's to show the always certainty. Doesn't make difference if it's dollar or penny. Like I was one time in that bar, the place, and I was single in my room because people told me, I get single. I kept on getting single. And he has stock of 5. He said, I took only 5. What do we do? The baker said, okay, give it to somebody else. He gave me the bag. And he continued to the next one. And the bag is there. It's a chutzpah. Some people like this, what can I do?
Okay. Let's continue the Gemara. Pliga de Rabbi Yehuda. We're saying that all these Amoraim who say that Abidei Leiv is in the positive about tzaddikim is B'emes HaMachloikes, because there's another opinion that says just the opposite. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yehuda, Man Abidei Leiv Govoi to Pshoi, that this is a nation. Rashi says, look at Rabbi Yehuda, the Omar Abidei Leiv Hanu Rishoyim Govoi Shem Umahi Bavo Masach Kedusha Min Shehem Min Anesinim. The Govoi is the Gevoinim. Amar Rabbi Yosef, I like to say that Lo Igayer Giyura Minayu, that they are bigger Rishoyim because we see that the Yidden are living in Bavel. How come they didn't meet the Yidden and someone doesn't Megayer? Alamai, they're very big Rishonim, and therefore they're not learning from the Yidden. None of the Mefarshim asks, what do you mean? If they're Gevonim, so then they are already Yidden. So they say maybe we're talking about there was a group of the Gevonim that came. The other Gevonim those stayed going, or maybe because they went back to Chos Lasurim and none of them became Bal Tshuva, and that's what it means. Okay. Oh, it's a Gemara Rav Ashi. B'nei Masa Machasya, the Goyim of Masa Machasya, Abir Elev. Again, they're Rishonim. They have a haughty heart. The Kachozi Yekore de Reise Trei Zimna B'Shaita. Twice a year they see the cover that Torah. V'loi ko Megayir Yuruminayim. None of them are being Megayir. It's like a pella. They see this beautiful cover that Torah. Tosfos says a beautiful word. I mean, they see the Rashi, first Rashi. Shuvcha der Reise Trei Zimna B'Shaita. Shenas of Hashem Yisrael Ba'adel Lishma B'Echus Pesach Midrash Drevashi Ube'elol Lishmoya Hilchus Hachag. That the Yidden would come twice a year to the big yeshivas. So Masa Machasa became packed twice a year. They would come Elul and Ador, they would come to learn Hilchas Chag. Huh? So, you're asking for the traffic makes people Megayah. Tosis, I don't understand. Just because there's exactly. So what? Oh, the answer is as I look at Tosis. That's why it's only twice a year, not 3 times a year. Shemen. Nisa is tracheshlo. V'nisi b'sefer oitim shekosav harav Rebbe bar Brazili. Sheshama shehoya amud shel eish yered min hashamayim aleim bechala de'elul or bechala de'ada. Unbelievable. That there was pasha that when the Eden came to the yeshiva to learn, there was a pillar of fire that came down. Huh? Could you imagine? So it's unbelievable. You know what? That must be that Mos Machaps they saw the Goli. Every time when Yidna Miskabets together that there is a pillar of fire. Almai, we don't not zeich to see it, but they were zeich to see these goyim, and so how come they went out Megaya? Almai, they were very haughty. How could you see? You see Mamish, you see Getlichkeit, you see Arabana Shalom. How come no one's Megaya? Almai, they were very haughty. So the Gemara Chosen in Breitz Likris and Machlokes, if the Chosen is preoccupied with a mitzvah, therefore he doesn't have to say Shema. Okay, he doesn't have to, but he could if he wants, and that's the Machlokes. He could if he can't. The Mishnah says Chosen Breitz Likris Krishma Malay Nishikayr. If he wants, he could. If he wants, says no. Loikol Breitz L'Shem Yitel Balgaiva. It's a Balgaiva kilo. Every Chosen is preoccupied, very busy, and but don't worry, I can keep my cool. I can be macham. That's a gaiva. You're not allowed to. So should we say that the machlokes is if we're choshish for gaiva or not, that a person does something, should we hiddur mitzvah or something? But if there's a chash yura, maybe that's the machlokes of Rishim Gamliel. If you should do it or not do it. No, we heard in a different place that the argument is the opposite. Depends what your minig is to do or not to do malacha on Tisha B'Av. Their bottle. Every person should make themselves a Talmid Chacham. But mashma Chachamim disagree. It's a machloikis. Chachamim say no. If you're a Talmid Chacham, you don't do malacha. But if you're not a Talmid Chacham, that's gaiva. No, working. No, we're talking about malacha, exactly. So that's the machlokes. So here the opposite machlokes here. So it's mochlefes hashitas l'chayre. Kasha d'Rabbanan Bram, Kasha Rav Gamliel. It's a kasha here in the Mishnah says, the Rishim Gamliel says you can't do it. It's gaiva to say, oh, I'm going to reach ma. And here he says, no, every person should act like a Talmid Chacham. So it's a masastir. It's a Gemara. The Gemara, no. The answer is, you have to change. Either the Mishnah you flip it, or over there, by Tisha B'Av you flip it. It doesn't. Good, but what's the machlokes? It's like hofuch ala hofuch. So this sheet in the Gemara holds that taka, that in the side l'gabi Shema and side l'gabi Tisha B'Av, it's the same thing. It's better to say Shema, and it's better not to do malacha. Elamai, in order to not to say Shema, you have to be a Talmid Chacham. And in order not to do malacha, you have to be a Talmid Chacham. So one Shita holds that every person should try to act like a Talmid Chacham. And the other one says no, because if you're going to act like a Talmid Chacham, it's the union of Gaiva. That's what the Shita though. Mekem for the Gemara is later going to say it's not a stira. Okay, but this opinion holds it is a stira. It is a stira. And then Toys is actually somebody trying to pass like the Shita. Zog the Gemara, Reb Sheisha b'reid Reb Ida Amar Lo Loy Tachlif. Reb Sheisha says, no, you don't have to say Mochlefes Hashitas. You don't have to, this Mishnah, that's Mishnah, go change the names of who said what. The Rabbanon Loy Kasha. So Nishkin Kasha. If you look at Rabbanon, why? Krishma, given the Kula Alma Kakori, Biyu Nami Kori, Loy Mechzik Yura. In other words, he's saying the Machloikis is not, everyone agrees you shouldn't have Gaiva, or you shouldn't do something that's going to look like you're having Gaiva. But the Shaila is, the Machloikis is just technical Machloikis. What's what? So when it comes to Krishma, the Rabbanon say, everyone's reading Krishma. So when he reads Krishma, you don't see so much the Yura here. He's not so much standing out as Yura. Also, keeping the Kol may have the Malach. But Mashenke on Tisha B'Av, whenever all the Amei Oretz are doing Malacha, Viyu Loika Avid, so Mechzik Yura, he's like, it's as if there is, the room, half the room is standing here and half there. Here the Tanacham, the Amei Oretz, and he's deciding to walk up as in the Mizrach. Says Yura, and Shimon Gamliel is Oichat Loikasha. Awesome. Again, it's a technical tale. It's not that there's a general Machloikis, Chashin Yura, not Chashin Yura. Everyone agrees that Chashin Yura, but the child is what's happening over here. Awesome, bekavona targum milza. Vanan sadi, the lomatza lechavona daite. By Krishma, the shadow is if you couldn't focus. A non-sadi, that a regular person can't focus with the night of his chasna on saying Krishma. This guy gets up and says Krishma, so he's saying it's a haughtiness. In other words, I could be mechavan against chachamim. What they say, no, regular people can't be mechavan. Aval hocha, he's not going to do malach on Tisha B'Av. It doesn't mean anything. Haroya oimer malacha hu de'enloi. Yes, yeah. Puk chazi kama batlonim ika bashuka. Go out in the street on Avenue J. You see how many people with dreitzach and afreitzach and head, they're not working. Yeah. So Mamela, there's no gaiva here. Fakert, he's an ebach, he's not about gaiva. But that's the machlokes. The machlokes is not the chashin. Everyone agrees. So the first opinion holds basically that there's really a machlokes going on chashin liyora, loy chashin liyora. Second opinion says no. Everyone holds chashin liyora. The shaila is what is a yura and what's not a yura. And if you look at Tosfos is a shame. Pirish should have been a chananel. The loch kirib sheishis or kirib shisha. Du basra, malach kirib shim gumlil. Dama loy koloid roitz litalas Hashem. So because it's really a machlokes, now you have to decide what's the halacha. So the halacha is kirib shim gumlil. Dama loy koloid roitz Hashem yitel. Mocho makom shishon shim gumlil. Mishin halacha k'mois. Chutz mi'arev etzidam v'raya achroina. And he holds that the Mechlefes Hashutas Tosfos holds means that the Shimon Gamliel our Mishnah stays, and basically Shimon Gamliel is the one that says you're not allowed to do anything that smells of Yura, and that's Taka da Alocha. Chepos ben Chanan Miu, and other Rishonim don't agree with this. But Tosfos says Miu, however, on Shemishum Kamen and Machabdim Heiti Gam Chosen Yishli Krois. The other Abba Nidaki Yurim Lo Yikram. Kilomer anihu mechav mechol shah. Alas malacha b'tisha b'av taka. Ein lasas malacha. So, one second. It's so funny. So, even though we say that the Tosfos says that really we're choshesh for Yura. It's a problem. We're choshesh for Yura. But it turn it on its head. Because Bisman, as it's negate a lot of dinim in Orachaim. We say that it's like every 3 days a person doesn't daven for 3 days. Oh, Bisman is anyway. Who are you? You're not being mechavan even on regular days. So what are you standing and waiting 3 days to start davening? Same me here. People are not being mechavan. So if he's now the Yura is going to be the opposite. He doesn't daven. Oh, tonight is his chasna. He doesn't daven. That means he's saying, usually I'm mechavan. Tonight I can't be mechavan. But today, no one's being mechavan kedaboy lemehave anyway. So that would be the yeah. No, the night of the chasna. No, I have to. Yeah. Right. Okay. So, but look, they. But Lepoil, we pass in Tag Shulchan the chos should say Krishma. So so it doesn't mean that the chos has to daven with a minion. That's an extra thing. And between taking pictures and davening with a minion, I'm not sure which is more important. So at this point, even the Kal is not in charge. There's the party planner at that point is in charge. Depends if you paid or not. So. Wow. You know what? There's no rules. The truth is that right. Yeah, so you see sometimes chasnas that there's so much stress. It's just so sad that a chasna should be a chapis, or you're marrying off a child. It's like, I mean, I must say, there's nothing more pleasurable. But Lepol, you see families that there's nothing more stressful. And part of the stress is that they have a timeline. And it should be late. What do you care? It'll be late. It'll be early. Listen, the people are coming, they'll come, they'll eat a piece of chicken, they'll come, they'll go. Yeah. Yeah, well, they have like today the hall and the party plan, and they make so much stress that everything has to be in a certain time. What is and you see people are getting very belachat. Who cares? Simcha should be full of simcha. Kishmoy keinu. I'm sure you enjoyed them all. I'm sure you enjoyed them all. Okay, so Baruch Hashem, we're Messiah the Pedic. And the Mitzvah Shem B'Sayis Yemei will start Pedic Misha Meisai. And hopefully throughout the winter, maybe towards the end of the year, we'll finish. Then we just have to get to Ketzim Avorchim, because some Ketzim Avorchim we already did. Ketzim Avorchim till the end. So. Yeah, on everything. So as a hemshech from last night, as a hemshech, even though we're not blowing, but just as a limud, as a hemshech from last night. So we spoke about the tkiya, and we said that the size, the proportion of the tkiya is the length of the tkiya is whatever's in between. Shvarim Trua, we said the minimum is 18 sounds, which is 3 for the shvarim and 9 for the. And each one of the 3 of the shvarim is as big as 3. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 9 times minimum. Yeah.
Yeah, Rabbi, but you do a lot more than 9. You do a lot.
I do a lot more than 9. Yeah.
A lot more than 9.
This guy was Badir. Okay, so let's.
No sound.
And the bottom line is that when you're going to, we spoke about this yesterday, if you're going to blow for someone, the Alter Rebbe holds that the main thing is, even though it's machlokes, the best thing to do if you're only doing 30 koilos, and when you make the bracha, what you should do is you should make the shvorim trua and one neshima. Shouldn't breathe. Should not breathe between the shvorim trua. In the shul, we do is we have pshara. When we do the first kiyas, which is the miyushev, we do it in neshima achas. And when we do it the moment we do shtei neshimas. No, we should be neshima achas. We don't breathe in between. We don't. Because yesh. No, miyushev is in the first one. Because over there we say that anyway, if you did the whole seder, you're supposed to breathe between everything. You're supposed to breathe before you start your pshuta. After you finish pshuta, you're supposed to breathe between everything. Now, the Alter Rebbe brings that the machlokes, that yeshem, even if you did the whole tashrat or the whole tashat, neshimach yoytze. So even if you really supposed to take an neshim time anyway, you're yoytze maybe. So that's what the Alter Rebbe says. Therefore, when you go to blow for someone, that's what you should do. We should do one neshima. The shvarim through. Verstetzach between everything else should be a neshima. That is the mila of making longer tkiyas. If you make very short tkiyas, even if hapi halach is good, sometimes you make a mistake, and you do, because if you're doing short stuff, you could end up doing a tkiya shvarim through a tkiya shvarim through a tkiya. All b'neshima achas. If you make it pretty short, you can knock off tashrat, tashat, all three, tashat, and b'neshima achas. If you're doing it small, but if you're doing it a long blow, you have to catch your breath. So you're never going to forget to take the neshima in between. Because kol hakoil is kshein b'shofer, so who cares what it goes? Sometimes it goes up, and well, who cares? Kol hakoil is kshein b'shofer. Yeah, it's all kosher anyway. Stronger, weaker, a little ear, because what happens? A little ear gets caught in, or a little bit of saliva gets caught in. Yeah, your lips a little. Okay, so fine. But the koilos are all kosher, so who cares? So you make tkiya. After the tkiya, you take a breath, and then you do the shmorim through. As the tkiya, but the tkiyas can be longer. There's nothing to say that the tkiyas can't be longer. It can be much longer. But the minimum length of the tkiya is whatever the length of the inside is. If the inside is shmorim through, so the tkiyas have to be a little longer. When the inside is each set is proportionate. Right. The shvarim trua is what's in the middle. That's the length of the tkiya before and the tkiya after. Right. No, it's only the shvarim trua. Yeah. Only the inside. The tkiya gedela has to be until Mashiach Tzidkenu comes. No. I spoke about this in the first Shabbos of Elul. That was tkiya gedela really means. It means not space. It means it's godel. It's not arucha. It's not tkiya arucha. Tkiya gedola. It's big. It's Bleak wool. No, it's easy. I'm telling you, it's easy. No,
Which one's the one? The one?
those are great. No, what are they from? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Interesting.
So the wood not blowing from your right side or your left side?
I hear stories now. Mamash Litze Litzonis. I hear that there's a whole discussion about putting a mask on the shofar, on the top of the shofar. I mean, I don't understand. If Taka in a place that people are being careful, everyone's wearing a mask. So what's the problem? Uh-huh. And then there's a whole discussion. Okay, maybe it's Ashkol Havora, Kol Shofar. Yeah, this I heard also. It's an Eitzah you should blow down, but it says all of the Kim you should blow up. But for this Sakona, yeah. Wow.
And they just sent everybody home.
From Israel? Wow.
It's not over.
No, and also lasting effects. There's also lasting effects. The problem with Corona is they're finding people's ways. If the amount of cases, they have problems with like COVID hired and whatnot. You heard Rabbi Brown's 2 tapes. It's not one to your wife.
Oh, you sent it to my wife? I'll ask my wife.
No, there's one he put out air shot. Saying the thing, say they're talking to them all that. And then there was another tape that was on the internet the other.
Shmulik said that they had in Israel that they had a news station was showing the chutzpah b'nei Barak that they're and they showed a video. It was 770 slichas.
On Monday. No, the other was a phone call. He said his opinion. Something close. There are ways of avoiding it.
770 will lose $500,000 if they close down on that Rosh Hashanah.
No,
You do the math.